We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. It's October the 20th, 2021 and we are live and coming to you from paceradio.net. I'm Al Graham and my joint host Kim Cooper has invited a guest who is a person who helps patients with access to legal medical cannabis. But before we learn more, it's time for Kim and I to have our usual chit chat. Hey Kim, what do you think?
Absolutely. We're going to have a great show tonight with our guest. There's no question about that. But there's lots going on in the world of cannabis to talk about before we get started. A couple of anniversaries and a pretty big news story.
Yeah, well, the one thing that's come up as anniversary-wise is it's been 11 years since a very big cannabis advocate, a person who spoke up to governments, a person who did rallies, spoke in speeches to congregations, had live YouTube videos educating people about cannabis, was a writer, was involved in educating people big time about cannabis, and today's the 11th year of the passing of Michelle Rainey.
Yeah, Michelle Rainey touched a lot of people's lives and progressed this movement forward with her advocacy and drive that she put into everything that she did surrounding cannabis. She's surely missed for sure. 11 years has been a long time.
Yes, 11 years. Cancer took Michelle. She dealt with Crohn's disease. She used, with the Crohn's and the cannabis, she used that as, to help educate people. And I know for myself, first time I saw her speaking at an event, and it was for a Treating Yourself magazine event in downtown Toronto. She was talking about Crohn's disease, and I thought, wow, she's up there talking about, having problems with going to the bathroom and everything, and people were really interested in all this, and I thought, geez, maybe I can do the same thing, and that pushed me up to do that, was seeing her do it. So.
Yep, she was an inspiration to many too, for sure. And of course, Al, with you struggling with Crohn's disease for all these years, I mean, for sure that touched a spot for you, and exactly. It hit home.
Yeah, and
it hit home for sure.
Yeah, it did. She had the melanoma, and I actually had melanoma myself, and had it surgically removed. Knock on wood. It's been 6 years. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a sad anniversary for sure. We did have one other anniversary this week, and that was, of course, the third anniversary for the legalization of cannabis, which took place on the actually that takes place on the anniversary date of my automobile accident.
Oh.
So lots of anniversaries this week.
Gee, what a connection!
Right? I mean, I had my car accident in 2002, and then they legalized cannabis 3 years ago on the same day that I had my car accident. So I mean, anniversaries abound everywhere.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And what a day! That's day of cannabis legalization, and the day that cannabis came so important in your life, and what it's led you to do during that whole journey.
Yeah, and and the anniversary date of the car accident that got me all started on the pharmaceutical train, and the narcotics train, and fentanyl and everything else, right? And cannabis got me off of all of that, and having those two anniversaries rolled into one date is just perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Things that just come together like that. And things that come together. It looks like we've got a news article here that something that didn't come together very well for some people. And this is an article in CTV News. I see here the Ontario Police seized more than $22 million worth of cannabis.
Yeah, well, if that is the actual pick of the grow up, I got a big question mark beside that number of 22 million, but we all know how the media and the police like to explode their numbers.
Yeah.
In a news release issued on Tuesday, they say that they picked up on October 14th, the Joint Forces Task Force executed 2 search warrants at 2 greenhouses and residents in the Niagara region.
Yeah.
22 mil.
Yeah, they say they found 21,000 plants, so there's that $1,000, regular $1,000 per plant that the police put on it. But when a patient goes to court to fight over some plants that they tore down illegally because the patient was legal, they don't know what the plants are worth, oddly.
Well, they don't give them $1,000 a plant. That's for sure.
No, they don't. They say 6 people are now facing charges under the Cannabis Act in connection with the investigation, and the residents were from Toronto, Scarborough, and St. Catharines. Well, look at the day. Yeah. Look at the day that they go to court.
December the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. They will appear in a St. Catharines courtroom on December the 23rd. You know, it's just going to get put over because there's no judges or lawyers or anybody that's doing anything. If they even go to court, it's going to wind up getting remanded without anybody showing up. And of course, as always, the cops are asking for information regarding the investigation to contact Crime Stoppers.
Yeah. So there you go, big bust.
Oh.
They see that's what we're seeing.
Ontario.
That's what we see in the news. Ever since legalization, and for the last 3 years, has been a lot of the bigger busts. Not so much of hearing about someone getting busted with a small amount of cannabis.
Now they're going after the big grow-ops that are unlicensed. And the only other time that you really see anything going on is when they claim that patients are overgrowing their licenses.
Right.
That's been a big focus for the police nationwide.
Well,
so
loopholes. Well, just so you know, Winnipeg just enacted a law, just passed a bylaw there that anybody who's becoming a designated grower has to do things just like a licensed producer. They got to do traffic studies. They want inspections. They want this and this and that and a whole pile of things going on.
Yeah, well, of course, all of these new regulations are seeping into the patient's right to grow that we've had in this country for 20 years with medical cannabis. And now with 3 years of legalization, we're seeing, the demonization of patient grows now. And that it's coming full circle. It's a problem.
And it's unfortunate. It's those people that abuse the system that make that system look bad for people like ourselves that stay within the numbers and the system. Yeah. So.
Absolutely, but we see that everywhere, right? I mean, everybody
right.
that's got a license doesn't stick to the rules, and the rest of the licensed drivers don't have to pay for that. So, I mean, that's the parallel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. When it comes to driving cars and stuff. That's right. All right, well, what do you say? Time to bring in our guest?
Absolutely. Looking forward to tonight.
Yes, same here. Okay, at this time, we'd like to welcome our guest, the person I mentioned. It's a person who loves to help patients with access to medical cannabis. We'd like to welcome Jeff Gomierato from the Green Valley Wellness to the Pace Radio Show. G'day, Jeff. How you doing?
Hey, how are you, Kim? Pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to tonight's conversation.
So am I. And so are our listeners. I saw some good comments on the Facebook post of it. And just a quick question. How did I do on that last name?
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. That's probably one of the best I've ever heard.
All right, good thing. Okay, well, we really appreciate you coming on the show and talking to Kim and I and our listeners and the whole bit. If any of them throw any questions at us in the chat here, I'll make sure that we are aware of them. And other than that, I'm going to throw you over to Kim, and she'll start piling the questions at you, and I will jump in as the night goes on. All right?
That was good.
Thanks so much, Al. Thank you so much, Al. Jeff, I'm so glad that you are with me on tonight's show. You and I had an opportunity to get together just a month ago while I was visiting in Toronto. You joined us at our Airbnb down there. We had a great afternoon out in the sunshine on the patio and got a chance to catch up, and it's been a while. I've known you for quite some time through Green Valley Wellness. Happy to be sending patients that way. Before we dive right into Green Valley and all the rest of it, let's give our listeners out there an opportunity to get to know you as well as I do. Give us a bit of a history on Jeff. How is it that you got involved in the cannabis business and in the cannabis community? To give us a bit of background on your cannabis history.
All right, get your seatbelts on because it's going to be a wild one. I started. I started in 2010 as a patient. So what drove me to be a patient? Let's start with that. What drove me to be a patient? I was working for one of the big telecom companies, which I'll keep nameless because it'll trigger me. And it was a severely brutal job, competitive, very abusive, upper management, directors, and it literally was driving me crazy. It was driving me to the point where, I was already smoking and medicating myself at work because I couldn't handle the stress, and I was at an upper management level where there was a lot of pressure on me to hit targets numbers. The call center environment, guys, I don't know if you've ever been in one. It's not an easy job by any means for the people on the phones. They take a lot of abuse. For the managers that are managing these teams to hit these numbers and targets to keep these companies rolling, and you literally are fearing for your job. So this is an important story because this is what starts all of my anxiety and what I think is a little bit of PTSD I have now from working through that company, but we'll get into that later. Which is not diagnosed, and I don't want to self-diagnose myself with PTSD. I understand how severe that is, so I just want to put that out there. But there are some severe triggers that get me right going, even thinking about that work environment. So I looked for a opportunity to get a medical license, and it took me, back in the day, it took me about 4 times. I got scammed about 3 times, and it took me on the 4th time where I was just about to give up and say, you know what, fucking hell with this. Everybody's taking my money and promised me a whole bunch of things. I drove to Canadian cannabis clinics when they were out in St. Catharines, and they denied me because I didn't have enough supporting documentation. I said, you know what, man? I said, this is fucking bullshit. I said, I'm using cannabis to treat me, for sleep, for anxiety, and I'm self-diagnosing myself, guys, right? I understand my triggers. I'm a grown man at this point. I know what's getting me going, and I know that the cannabis is helping me through my days. And these people are telling me, no, it's not good. You have to be on fucking, antidepressants. You got to be on, this and that and all these pills. And, I don't even take Tylenol, guys, okay? I'm that guy that just doesn't take the pill. The only pill I'm taking is a gravel when I'm flying because I don't like to fly. And it knocks me right the fuck out. And that's the only way I can get on the plane. But I don't like taking pills. I tore my Achilles tendon. I didn't take one goddamn painkiller, right? So I finally met this guy, and I give him a lot of props. His name is Jory Meisner. He had probably one of the first cannabis independent clinics that was really patient for the patients, partnered with Broken Coast when they first started. And he was just a wonderful guy, man. He just said, hey, I can do this for you. Put trust in me. We'll get the process done. And sure enough, I say, the hell with it. Back then, it cost me $600 for a 3 gram a day license. I was happy to pay that amount. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
I know. We'll get it. But you know what? For me, guys, it was peace of mind. So it was a lot of money, man. $600. I'm working for not much money, and you know how expensive the GTA is and all that stuff. So it was so worth it for me that I can go outside of work and start medicating. And I introduced this to my boss, who was not a nice person. And I said, look,
Obviously.
this is what keeps me. Yeah, she was not, man. She was a very abusive woman, man. And I said, look, this is what manages my stress during the day. This is what makes me the number one leader. I'm a very competitive person, guys. I played soccer and football all my life. I coached. I'm a natural coach and a natural leader. I don't like to lose. Okay, so she knew that, and she took advantage of that, and it landed up by the whole call center hating me. And, because my team was number one, we were always best of the best, always getting rewards, always getting paid. But that came at a price. It's like selling your soul to the fucking devil. It came at a price.
Yeah.
It came at a price of stress. It came at a price of, not being able to settle down. Even now when I'm on a vacation, I can't settle down. I'm so fidgety. Always trying to work. Can't really have peace and balance in my life, right? So that's where I really started saying, okay, you know what? I need a change in my life. I need to do something different. And from him helping me out, I started directing patients to him, talking to people saying, hey, especially my buddies in Quebec. So I'm a Montreal boy. I'm from Montreal. I moved to Toronto, GTA, it's about 11 years now. So I was talking to my buddies in Montreal, like, hey guys, this is what's going on here. If you're suffering from this, we can get these things that help us, and like, everyone thinks it's a scam. Oh, you just want to smoke weed in public. I'm like, no, guys, listen, this is medicine, man. That's when I really started thinking medicine-wise. Like, I always knew it was medicine, but it was just like to smoke a spliff to get me, nice and relaxed. But I never treated it as true medicine. This is when I kind of started venturing, and this is when I was 30 years old, when I started saying, oh, shit, this is medicine. Like, this is true medicine. And, like, I was that guy, pick up off your dealer, smoke it high, and, of course it relaxes you. But really understanding the true properties of cannabis and the plant, it was in my 30s. And that's when I started venturing off, and I started saying, hey, you know what? Let me start sending you patients, man. So I started doing that, and then I started sending him quite a bit of patients. And he was a good mentor, man. He's a very relaxed guy. And one day he's just like, no, you should just do this on your own, man. He's like, I'm like, nah, whatever. I have you, I'll just use you. And I took at that point, I took a sick leave from work, and I started reevaluating my life. I had gone back to Montreal and played in a football charity game for the old timers, and just seeing the boys and seeing my coaches, and them looking at me and saying, wow, you look fucked up, man. You don't look good. You're overweight. You look stressed out. You're fucking balding. Or what the hell is going on with you? And it really put my pride on the side, guys. I put my pride on the side, and I sucked it up, and I took it. I'm like, these guys are right. I need to change my life. And it was cannabis that led me to that change. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Got back home, said the hell with it. Went to the doctor, said, look, this is what's happening. I can't work there anymore, or at least not for now. I need to change. And then that led to the transitional period. And my story is long, and I'm sorry if it's long-winded, but it'll give people an understanding of who I am and the journey and the struggle that I had to get to where I am now, and we're still fighting that battle, right? So
exactly, because every patient's story helps to educate another person, another patient, so on and so forth. And it's
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all had our struggles getting here, right? We've all had our struggles getting here. We've all got our individual stories, and pain-related, stress-related, life-related, illness-related. All of it is. It all brings us to the same point where we're looking for relief from something that isn't going to make us a vegetable.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, 100%.
Just like Ron McNabb, he's commented that he says, I can relate in so many ways with Jeff. And I'm sitting here listening to your story, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm checking off a lot of boxes that you were talking about that I went through. And there's so many people that are like ourselves that are out there that are in situations like that with bosses and companies and stuff that do put stress on you, and one thing leads to another, and eventually something goes.
Yeah, something's got to give, right?
Something's got to give, and that was it, right? It was like shit. Okay, I can have a pension, but this job will will kill me. It'll put me in the hospital. So I suffer from like these severe panic attacks that are very, very similar to heart attack. Like they're really insane. I've done internal medicine. I've been through the ringer. Ambulances out of work. Like when I tell you guys, like this job almost fucking killed me. It literally did, man. I had spinal taps, anything you can imagine, and all the doctors said were, Jeff, it is stress. You need to calm the fuck down. And that's when I'm like, okay, no, time for a change. So changed it, transitioned out, got just a quick job at Honda, just on the phone, just in transition. And then we were plotting to do dispensaries. And then I met my partner from Green Valley that I'm with now, which is Franco. And he was opening up two black market, gray market dispensaries in the dispensary days in Toronto. And him and his partner said, hey man, we want you to manage our dispensaries. I had a lot of marketing experience, something that these guys didn't have. I was structured. I brought organization to product sales and SOPs, and we ran a good organization. We did a lot of stuff for the patients in those dispensaries. Like we were at Eglinton and Danforth and Scarborough, and we had barbecues for the complexes around us for all the kids. Like we were giving back. We've always been community. So I've always been community. I've always been a community guy. I worked at overweight camps in the States. I did YMCAs. I did a lot of, before when I went to school, I was doing a school for education and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very, very community oriented. I love helping. I love giving back, and it reflects with Green Valley what we do now. So we were doing a lot of stuff, and then you guys know what happened. Project Claudia came through, and
don't jump ahead. Hold on. You're jumping way far ahead there. Hang on. Hold the phone.
Brakes are on.
You're in the future already. We're not even at the first commercial break yet. Let's slow it up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, let's stay on Jeff first before we get into Green Valley Wellness. Okay, so you're basically you found cannabis for relief for your symptoms, and that's what drove you to do what you do. Whether you're diagnosed or not, it's anxieties, it's stressors, and that was what was interfering with your life. And once you found cannabis, helped you out so much. Your story, like many others, from what I gather, you felt the need to just tell everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it was very much that. And sometimes you got to fucking whip me back into shape. My mind goes all over the place. I may have to smoke a couple of joints while we're on
We are a medicating zone. You are allowed to medicate during the broadcast.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, you're right. Like that's what it was, and So prior to that, I'll take it back. Let's take it back. Let's go into Jeff. Let's get into Jeff. Let's get deep here. So before I moved to Ontario, my life in Montreal was very, very different. I was young. I was party mode. It was party time. It was let's go, and I was dealing with a very, very hard death in the family, and a very hard time. My aunt was dying of ovarian cancer, and it was 4 years of the most 4 years of the most brutal. She was a registered nurse. She was an RN. She was a great woman. She lived with me all my life. She was a second mother to me. She went through the most brutal chemotherapy I've ever seen in my life, where they were pumping out green fluids, liters upon liters, every 2 weeks. So she volunteered herself to do a test run, and they pumped her with 40 different chemos in 4 years. Okay, I've never seen somebody. Listen, guys, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody deteriorate and just hang on to the wimp of life that can't move for no purpose. It was sad, and I promised myself also I would do something great for people in honor of her, because she deserved it.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 years.
Yeah. So, and your journey into cannabis. your journey on the cannabis train. I mean, you learned about so many medicinal benefits, and that carried through with your tribute for your aunt.
Yeah, it was a lot of that, and you know, it was when I came to Ontario, it was changed my life. It was no more, you know, talking to the fucking, you know, the party guys, you know, get your shit straight, do something good, and feel the reward of doing something good. I'm not a money guy. You know, everyone's like, oh, fuck, you're in the cannabis industry, man. You're making so much money. I said, look, guys, you got me wrong, man. It's patient first. And if the money comes after, then good. Yeah. Nobody's rich. I didn't grow up rich. I'm not a rich boy. My family was lower middle class. My dad is the only one that worked. My mom had a little lunch lady job sometimes, fucking yelling at the kids. You know, I'm like, oh, it's my mom. You know, like, that's how we were. That's how we grew up. You know, I was blessed. My mom and my dad always, you know, gave us whatever we needed. But nobody's rich, and we don't rely on money. So that holds true right now. It's the same. You know, whatever we can do to get by, we get by, and that's how I live, right? So that's
Jeff in a nutshell. Passionate man. Yeah. Passionate man looking to help people.
Yeah, you know, you described earlier in the show. You described something where Kim had mentioned about the fact that, you know, you had all that trouble. You got the cannabis end of things, and you saw the benefits, and you had to tell people, and you did, because you shared that story with your boss. You know, I'm sure, you know, here, calm down, smoke a joint, something, you know, or take some cannabis.
Yeah.
This works for me. And it sounds like from there, it just kept growing and wanting to spread the word.
Growing.
Yeah. And
and thank God for that clinic. And thank God for that clinic that you did find that helped you, because that's what launched you into Green Valley Wellness. And we're going to get into Green Valley Wellness so much more, but I want to wait until after the break, because I know how passionate you are, and I know how this is going to go.
So why don't we just go for a break? It's, you know, a couple minutes early.
Yeah, we're 2 minutes early, but we can live with that.
Yeah, we can live with that. All right. Just so you know, Jeff, Ron says hi.
Hey, Ron.
All righty. Let's head for that break, and then we'll get into that long-winded good question that Kim's got here to find out what's going on. All right. Okay. After the break we go.
Green Valley Wellness when we come back.
Yeah. Time to pay some bills. When we return, Kim and I will continue our discussion with Jeff Gomierato from Green Valley Wellness. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Are you interested in Canadian and international cannabis news? If you are, then catch myself, Kim Cooper, and Al Graham for our live reefer report on the Pace Radio Network, found at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show, and we are live here at paceradio.net. If you missed one of our live shows, don't worry. You can always catch them afterwards, catch your podcast at our website found at paceradioshow.com. Tonight on the program, we're joined by our guest, Jeff Gomierato from the Green Valley Wellness, plus my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Well, Kim and Jeff, I know I got some idea. I think I know we're going to go with this this next segment. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah, we're going to Green Valley Wellness for sure. Love the company. Love the man behind the company. There was a bit of a shake-up in the middle of things, but it's back on track, and we're going to get the scoop from the man himself. Jeff, tell us about Green Valley. You met this great guy that got you hooked up. You decided, hey, I want to do this. So you started Green Valley Wellness.
So yeah, we got into like I said, we were doing the dispensary thing, and then right before Project Claudia, I said, hey, I talked to my partner. I said, hey man, I said, at the time I was working for him, I was his employee, which is strange to say, but I'm like, hey man, I'm like, look, you should really think about closing it, think about the future, and let's do something else. Like we'll just put it on pause for now, and let's figure it out. And he did. He listened to me, man. He closed up his dispensary, closed up shop, and a month later, I said, okay, let's roll with the clinic. Let's do it. I had my buddy that suggested I start the clinic. We were using his medical staff. So he was, charging us a fee, and then, we were charging our consulting fee, and that's how we played the game for a bit. We started we originally were 3 partners. We started out of a little office in downtown Oshawa, which was fucking terrible, man. There was people smoking crack in the bathrooms, shooting up in the staircase. It was a really bad area, but it was really bad, man. Like we get out of the office and like the bathroom door would be locked. And I'm trying to get in, like you're banging the door, and then some guy would like walk out with his bike and it would smell like crack. And I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is not a good place for patients to come. So we stayed there for a little bit, and we looked for some money to start expanding. We were getting a bit busier. We were doing about, that time it wasn't very much. It was about 10 to 15 patients a month, and we got it's a bit of a journey, Green Valley. We got some investors who sold us this wonderful dream of cross country clinics and all this money, and we were young and naive, and we took the deal. They gave us a fraction of the money, which started our Whitby location, which is our head office. And we had to, really fight for the rest of the money. They didn't land up by giving us all the money. They landed up by pulling out. So we just managed ourselves. At that point, I needed my own medical staff because my buddy unfortunately had partners, and they were really, really expensive. So I said, the hell with this. I got motivated. I went out, got some nurse practitioners on board that were lovely, lovely ladies, so beautiful to help, beautiful personalities. It was awesome. And we just rolled from it. We went from doing 15 patients to like 200. And it was awesome. It was it was one of the greatest feelings in the world. It was amazing. We knew we were doing something right. We were onto something, and we just kept rolling. And at that point, we said, okay, you know what? Let's open up a second location. Our plan was to open up or to try for a dispensary in Newfoundland in St. John's. So we ventured out there, knowing that we can maintain and manage a clinic if the dispensary didn't pan out. I did the application for the dispensary. Unfortunately, we didn't get the dispensary, so we kept the location as a clinic, opening up our second clinic in the East Coast, which I love so much. I love St. John's. I love our support out in Newfoundland and the East Coast. It's a wonderful place. I spent a lot of time out there, living there, sacrificing personal life with my son that was just born, really trying to build this business. And that's what we did. We opened up that second location. We traveled across country, every trade show possible. We went to little flea markets. We were in little flea markets in butt-fuck PEI. Franco's the travel guy. Right,
Nice.
Nice. In the flea markets, that's where you got to go. Yeah.
That's where the people are.
We went everywhere we could. We went. And it was like, Franco's a Tamil guy, so he's a brown guy. So it's me and it's an odd couple. It's hilarious. We're the best. And we're having our little booth, and people are walking up to Franco, like giving him food, giving him all kinds of shit. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And they were just so like happy we were there, and they're happy to see different cultures there. It was amazing. We thought we were going to be, not shunned upon, but people would have like a pushback or, a little bit of stigma going on. You see it everywhere. But they were so happy, and I'm like, wow, this is wonderful, man. Like, I got so much energy of doing those shows, meeting people, talking about cannabis. Listen, guys, am I a cannabis professional? Am I a cannabis pro? Am I a fucking, scientist? No. But God damn it, I know my weed, and I know how to dose and how to take care of people, and how to, really, really, how do I explain it? Like, really,
help people.
Really put forth
accessing
the help and you got it. Yeah, accessing the system, right? So that's what we did best, and people bought into it because we were patients for patients. So we competed against, everyone's like, oh, there's free clinics and stuff like that. We competed against free clinics and all these kind of clinics. But what the difference was us is that we were doing art therapy classes, we were doing cooking with cannabis classes. We were doing education classes. We were in old age homes doing education. We were part of the community. We outreached. We gave away. I can't even tell you how much stuff we've given away to patients because we wanted to, right? It's not because we want to give it away and then say, hey, yeah, Green Valley gave it away, man. Look at us. We're giving stuff away. No. We raised money for, people's dogs get spayed, cats to get spayed, groceries for months for underprivileged people. People didn't have money. We did hospitals with kids, Santa Clauses, toys. Like, listen, and there's a lot of support from the patients that made that happen, right? It was all these patients that came together to be like, hey, man, we support you guys. We support the cause, man.
Yeah.
And that's the difference,
energy, right? That's the difference between you and the free clinics and the government supported clinics, and not the ones that are take OHIP or whatever your health system is in the province that you live in. In Ontario, it's OHIP. But the ones like you that you have to pay a fee for, it's more than a doctor's visit. It's more than a visit to talk to a nurse practitioner or a doctor or a medical professional. You get ongoing care. If you have a question, you can call and ask, and you'll get an answer. Most of these other clinics that are out there, they write your script and you're out the door, and that's it.
I can't tell you how many times there was a Canadian cannabis clinic right across the street from us in Whitby. I cannot tell you how many times patients would come in after getting their prescription from Canadian Cannabis Clinic for advice. What do I do with this? What do you mean? Go talk to Canadian Cannabis Clinic. What are you talking about? What do I do with this? But we didn't. We sat them down and we went through the process with them. If I took a note down of how many Canadian cannabis clinics, your patients we helped out, it's insane. And listen, this is not to knock any of these clinics. Everybody has their business model, and I respect their business model. Okay, that's for them. But for me, when we opened this place, it wasn't a clinic. I say clinic because people get its prescriptions, and it's an easy word, but it's a wellness center. So when you walked into our places, there was a fireplace, there was TVs everywhere, there was a Nintendo Wii, there was board games, there was a whole bunch of wonderful stuff, and I'm getting goosebumps and my hair is standing up because it was welcoming, right? I wanted people to come and relax and be a patient. And when they leave my place, no matter what they're dealing with, no matter what stresses they have, no matter what illness they have, no matter what, I wanted them to feel some type of joy and happiness, even if it was for a little moment, because that little moment I cherish and they cherish, and that's magic. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's why I started doing this. And that's why I'm so passionate about these clinics and what we do, right? And that's what I'm talking. And you know what? And again, it's patience for patients. Look, these big guys and these free guys, they have these LP behind them. They have millions of dollars behind them. They don't need to. They have OHIP. But my thing is, hey, if you want, you can drive a Honda or you can drive a Ferrari. Okay. When you come and when you came every time to Green Valley, you got that Ferrari VIP treatment. Okay. You were leaving with class. You were leaving with service, and we were always the fairest price in the industry for a private type service because we work with nurse practitioners. They can't bill OHIP. So I said, if they can't bill OHIP and we're going to charge, then let's make our service the best. Where people say, hey, God damn it, I don't mind paying $100, $200, $300 for that because you know what? Those guys are amazing, man. Look what they do, right? We never charge patients for our classes. We had Charlene Freedom in doing her
great lady.
I know Charlene. Yeah.
Love Charlene. Yeah, she is my favorite topical maker of all time. I love Charlene. She has got some great stuff going on, and her sessions are so informative, and she is so thorough, and she is so patient.
They are, and she is. I was talking to her today, and it's funny that you had that reaction. I told her, I said, Charlene, I said, I love you. I said, and you know what? I said, every time I mention your name, people have that same reaction. And it's true because she's a wonderful woman. She has helped so many people and patients with her creams and her bath bombs and her wonderful, wonderful product. People like that deserve a big shout out, a big amount of respect in this industry, right? Because that's grassroots. That's grassroots right there, man. You know what I mean? That's grassroots. She may not be in the signs picketing and fighting with her activism, but that is grassroots, man. So a lot of props to Charlene Freedom.
She's there helping patients, and I mean that's just as important, if not more important, at the grassroots level, is giving patients access. And teaming up with her is absolutely brilliant. I know myself over the years, when you first started out and I first found out about you, I sent somebody to your clinic that I knew in Southern Ontario to check you out. And I said, don't tell them anything. Just go in and be stupid, right? And so they went in and they spoke and they got their appointment and everything. And then they gave me a call and they're like, yeah, Kim, this is the real deal. I said, okay. And then I started sending everybody that asked me about a prescription. It's like, yep, I got those forms right here. And I had them in my filing cabinet, the Green Valley Wellness forms. I printed them off and I gave them to everybody. It's like, here, fill these out, contact Green Valley, make an appointment. And I sent tons of people to you guys, man, tons. And everybody had the same reaction. They were all very happy with the service.
Yeah, and we really, really appreciate that, and that's what we wanted to really, really, really focus on was patient experience, and we did it really, really well. And then it was 2 years, probably a year and a bit, and I'll tell you what, guys, it's not a it's a tough gig. It took a lot of sacrifice with both me, and Franco from families, travel time. We were, it was 18 hours a day, and we were pushing this company really big time because we wanted, at the end of the day, we wanted to sell it. That was our goal, was to, sell it at the end of the day and work with the company. And our the perfect world was sell it, work with the company, still do great things for the patients. But reality sets in after a year and a half, and we were burnt out. It came to a point where it wasn't fun anymore. It was tiring. It was exhausting. We had staff that were manipulative, and that's the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There are some. Here's the thing about me is, I'm not a dishonest dude. I like to say it how it is, and it's my company, and I'll tell it how it is. I've always been open and upfront with everything that's gone, because it's the people's company also. I have nothing to hide, and I never had. I'm an owner, and I'm always up in your face, and I'm always upfront about what's going on. If there's bad stuff going on, if there's criticism, I'm addressing it all the time. So we were burnt out. It was a lot of work. I hated it. I hated every goddamn second of it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was fed up. Life was kicking me in the ass. Franco was fed up. We were at each other's throats all the time, which is normal. No, you're with the same person all the time, and it's just like, you're not agreeing on everything, and that's normal also. And it was kind of like, you know what, man, the fucking hell with this. We had two offers on the table to sell the clinic, and we looked at it seriously, and we said, okay, you know what, we're gonna omit option A, which probably would have been the better deal. But we went with option B, and yeah, once all that was said and done, we had about, you guys, we did about, in 2 years, we're looking at about 5,000 patients.
Wow.
That,
nice.
Yeah.
But that's 5,000 people that you helped. You personally helped 5,000 people. That is huge, Jeff. No matter what happened with the turmoil that came next, them first couple of years, man, you guys went full tilt, and you gave excellent, above and beyond customer service. You helped 5,000 individual patients. And, I always use the comparison, every patient that gets educated, you're not just educating them, you're educating them, their family members, and everyone that they speak to. So, you compound that 5,000 by another, 5, 10 maybe, depending on the popularity of the person. Well, you're up at 50,000 now. That was benefiting from your information. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool because I never thought we were going to be, I never thought we were going to be that big. In my world, that was the first business I ever opened. That's huge.
Right?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah,
I was pretty proud of it. Sure. I still am. It was a cool experience, and I love to help out.
When you always refer back to the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And that was when the presents and stuff followed into town, he wouldn't try to stop Christmas, but yet Christmas still happened, and he did something good, and his heart grew 10,000 times, and in his chest. Yeah. And I always find that when you do a situation where you're helping so many people that are sick, your heart just grows because of you're doing something that feels so good to yourself. And knowing that you're helping people.
That's right. Now, when you did eventually, you sold the company. You did sell the company. When the sale happened, the quality of the service suffered. So I think towards the end before we sold, the service was declining. It was, I gotta take the ownership, the onus of it. It was, I went from super management to fuck it. So it was my fault at towards the end before we sold. I'll take it. Me and Franco maybe didn't put enough into it.
because of the point we were at. When we did sell it, it was a different game. Once we sold, I was no longer mandated to the clinical side of things. I was mandated to the sales side of the company. So that left Franco on his own. And it's a difficult job to manage on your own. So really difficult. Like once all this happened, COVID happened. And there was, and I don't want to put the blame on COVID because all you have to do is adapt, right? But there wasn't enough resources for that to happen. And I just think, again, that people were, a bit fed up, and the service took a big hit. We had employees that left. It turned out to be an internal shit show. And there was no money. We were with an LP, and it's not their fault. Not to blame anyone. I'm not going to point fingers, but they were a startup also that didn't have extra funding to send to the clinic's way. Before we sold, our game, guys, was to obtain a federal sales and medical license, just like a pharmacy, and distribute the best of the best products to our patients. And we'll get into that a bit later. So that was where the direction was. And we figured this LP would kind of help us out and pump us the funds that we needed to get to that level. And that wasn't the case because, again, it was a startup. They didn't have a license at that point. It was really, it was premature. The buy was premature of the LP. We thanked them for purchasing us. It gave us an opportunity to do different things, which I'm very blessed and thankful for. Every opportunity I get, I look as great because I have to make it great, whether it's shitty or not. And that's the opportunity I took. I got to know a lot of different people in the industry. Franco suffered a little bit on the clinical side, and then I decided in January. I said, look, I wasn't really feeling the sales vibe of the company was very, very difficult. I said, look, Franco and the clinics are struggling. Let me go back to the medical side. Let me do what I do and try and bring back the clinics to where they should be. And they agreed with it. They said, no problem. Do what you want, whatever it is. They were happy to get me off of that sales team, man, because I have a fucking big mouth. I didn't like people telling me what to do either, man. I'm not one to have a boss. Anyway, so I did that, and then we started getting some really good traction in January. I said, okay, let's do this. We went from, so remember I said we were doing 200 patients a month, and we went from on average that came down. We did about 80 to 100 to 5. And wow. I'm like, wow, 5 patients, guys, and I'm like, those aren't even renewals. I said, what the hell is going on here? So I looked at it. I did a deep dive. I'm really good at deep diving and finding problems and fixing them. I did that well with the telecom company, and I do it well with this company very, very well. I can identify many things. So anyway, I did that, and we started doing what we got to do. We got our Instagram back, we got our Facebook back. We started doing some giveaways again, and we went from 5 patients to 35 in a month. So I said, okay, this is working again. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And then all of a sudden, the company says, hey, guys, we're closing the clinics. We're going to sell them, and you're out of the job. And it was a ton of bricks. So it's a ton of bricks on my shoulders, knowing, A, I'm unemployed in a month's time during a very hard time to get a job. Yeah. And B, I'm losing my 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears in that company, and it was a tough pill to swallow. It was a tough pill to swallow. It was a tough pill to swallow because we were getting such getting such good traction again, and it was a tough. I fell flat on my knees. I was so discouraged. I was so pumped to be back, and then it's like you're pumped, and then all of a sudden some guy just comes and smacks you in the back of the head with a shovel, blindsides you, and you're out cold.
Yeah, deflate all of it. Deflate all of it. But you persevered. You came up with an idea, and Green Valley Wellness survived. Well,
yeah, it wasn't so much my idea, but it was kind of so So Franco had said, look, let's try and work something out where we can keep the clinics. And I said, you know what? There's a lot. There's 5 brick and mortars that we can't afford. It's $40,000, a year for these brick and mortars for rent alone, and so on and so forth. I said, look, this isn't possible for us anymore. So it's either we switch it up, we go online, and we try and make a deal where we can kind of bring it back. And that's what we did. So it was ideally it was Franco's kind of suggestion, and he came up with a little deal which was good. So I'm going to give Franco credit on that. And we had a little bit of turmoil before. There was a little bit of mischief in the background. Can't get too much into it. People talking a lot of shit, trying to plot me and Franco against each other. And we
that
persevered.
We saw.
Yeah. It's a shitty industry sometimes. And me and Franco have a really good brotherhood relationship. We're able to pass through it. And company owed us some shares from the purchase. So we decided to say, hey, keep your shares. Let's make a deal. Give us our patient base back, the trade name, and our assets, and we'll rock it from there. And we signed the deal finally in September. And here we are now. I have 4 years, 2 years later, I got my company back. I can do what I want. I don't have to answer to a board who, no disrespect to them, don't really know anything about, medical cannabis or the industry. And again, that's not any disrespect to them. It's just not their profession. And I can make my own choices and decisions. And now I can, Kim, you mentioned before, and, you stopped sending patients to us. Because of the service. And that's important. And I want to highlight that because you're not the only one to say that, right? Like we had other clinics, we had other clinics that would send us patients. Canada Connect was sending us patients. Canadian Cannabis, clinics were sending us patients. Some of these guys were sending us patients because they didn't allow growing. And some of them stopped. They said, listen, you know what? Your service is poor. You can't do this. And I said, wow. So now we have the opportunity to
some complaints. Yeah, I started getting some complaints a little bit. It's like, who the hell did you send me to? And, a couple of stories that came back to me. And I started asking around in the core cannabis community. I said, what the hell's going on with Grain Valley? I mean, they've always been great. What the hell's going on? And then I found out about the sale. It's like, oh, it's not them anymore. And it's like, oh. All right, now it all makes sense. So, I quit doing that, and I was just thrilled to death when I found out you were back and back behind the wheel and in control again. It's like, oh, fantastic. I have to get a new PDF with their forms and put them back into the rotation here in my lineup here that for patients that I help out in Northern Ontario, because quite frankly, honestly, you guys, clinic, the patients that I sent to you when you were operating it during that first, 2-year heyday, they were my happiest patients. Were the ones that I sent to you guys.
There you go. You always got good feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get that back.
Yes. So I'm thrilled that you're back.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's a different time, and I'm happy. Like with that paperwork and everything, like we have a lot of stuff that's changing. Like we're still like, a little bit old school with our process. You got to fill the paperwork out and all that stuff. But we just talked to the website guy today, and hopefully in about 4 weeks, the new website will be launched. They just started working on it, so we're going to have fillable forms online, renewal forms online. Our calendar is going to be online. Our lives that we do on Facebook are going to be attached. Anything linked, for you guys also, if you want to put a link to the Pace Radio, we can add that link so patients can, listen to your podcast and all kinds of stuff. So it's really, really cool. We got to change with the times. And I think our process was a little slow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to cut you off there before we get into the future stuff. Let's save that, what's next for the future, and you can tell us about the website and all of that after this commercial break. How about that?
For the future segment.
Okay, awesome.
All right. All right, it's time for us to hit for that commercial break. When we return, Kim and I will continue our conversation with our guest, Jeff Gomierato from Green Valley Wellness. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the Pace Radio Show. We are being broadcasted live here at paceradio.net. Tonight in the program, I am joined by our guest, Jeff Gomierato from the Green Valley Wellness, and my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper of No Sir. Well, yes, sir, we are enjoying our conversation tonight with Jeff, aren't we not, Kim?
Yes, we most certainly are. We most certainly are. He started this company a while back. It did some fantastic things for a few years. Then there was a bit of turmoil with the sale and mergers and company and business kind of bullshit getting in the way of the mission. That's getting straightened out now, and he's back. We're looking to the future.
We are looking into the future. We're kind of going back to the future. We're going to take everything back to Yeah, back to basics, and sometimes that's all we need to do is go back to basics and just do what we did. But everything is done now online. So we have a platform. We have an online platform now. When I say that, I mean there's no more brick and mortars. You can't walk into the clinics anymore. We found that with COVID and all that kind of stuff, wasn't worth it. So everything will be done online. We started doing that in January. It was super successful. We partnered up with 709 Best Buds. So that's a group out in Newfoundland. My buddy Robert, who is a fantastic patient advocate, does some amazing growing, gives some amazing tips. By the way, guys, some of the best growers are in Newfoundland. It is amazing how these guys grow their cannabis in the conditions they do. They're just wizards. Some of the best genetics from Mike Daw. A huge shout out to Mike Daw. He's a geneticist, this super scientist kind of wizard. It's amazing what they do out there. So we partner with them to do online sessions and educational sessions. So everything is going to be online. We did an art therapy session also that was online. That was super successful. So we're going to take it back to the basics. We're going to start bringing back all those kind of educational, therapeutic, relaxing sessions, even some de-stressors where people just kind of venture in and kind of talk and just be at peace with conversation. We're going to introduce a lot more of those things. The website is changing. So the website is going to be awesome. Like I said, all our calendar stuff is going to be on there. For example, if we do another episode down the road, it'll be in our calendar. Whenever we're going to be at a show, it'll be in our calendar. Whatever we do will be in the calendar. So people will be able to interact with, we're trying to make the website as interactive as possible now. So we want direction to the website. So a lot of stuff will be on there.
That's the way to go, right? I mean, everybody now, the last 2 years, of course, our reality outside has changed drastically, and everything has migrated to online. I mean, everybody's doing online shopping, online everything, online doctor's appointments, online. So, I mean, that's the wave right now, for sure.
Yeah, it's everybody is it'll open up slowly but surely, but our venture is online. We are partnered with some companies that will be hosting sessions at one of them being Kelly's Green Lounge in Orono, Ontario. And big shout out to Kelly and what she does for her group and her following. Powerful woman in the industry. Lots of love for her and Richie. So we have solidified a partnership with them. We're going to be using their spot. Actually, we'll be there tomorrow evening between 5 and 7:30, registering patients and providing some education. So that's awesome too. So we partnered up with tomorrow. Yeah, we're doing it tomorrow. Nice. It's a little something. Yeah, we're going to start doing more of them.
Good stuff.
We're going to have those sessions there.
Good. We'll be able to get another plug in, if I remember, on Monday when Kelly's on the Reefer Reporters. Find out how. I always ask her, hey, how did things go out the last week at the lounge? And she always tells me. So.
Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully it goes well.
There you go. Yeah. I'll ask her, hey, how'd that session go there with Green Valley Wellness? So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love this because there are so many opportunities at the grassroots level where we see this more and more. I think we help more patients at the grassroots level than they do anywhere because people want information. And most of these brick and mortar places and sanctioned type places that are out there, they don't talk to you like you're a person, and they don't talk to you like they know what they're talking about. And that's a problem for anybody new that's getting wants information or to start using cannabis as a medicine. If they're new and they're not cannabis consumers and they're been hearing about, cannabis as a medicine, and now they want to know, well, these other sanctioned places, they're useless because they don't know what they're talking about for the most part. It's a job to them. They're not patients. Where you guys are patients, you can provide them answers in a setting like Kelly's or another setting like that is welcoming, because you're all patients that are there. Gary Pallister comes to mind, what him and Rob Mahey do. They have like town halls that they host, and they wind up getting, 30, 40 senior citizens sitting in a barn learning about cannabis.
That's fantastic. That's, that generation needs that education. They need to, we did video testimonials of, some senior citizens that cannabis changed the world. We had a guy with Crohn's. We had a guy with Crohn's that came in. He never used cannabis in his life. He came in, and it's the most touching story, man. He came in and he started using the medicine. He was using oils because he didn't smoke. And this guy came in like 2 months after, man, in tears. How it changed his world, it changed his life. And I was like, wow, he brought us donuts. Like, I don't know how many times. He was so happy. And it was like, it was amazing. Like, that was the story I triggered. But we're working with other people also, before I lose train of thought. Out in Pembroke, a store called the Can Apothecary. It is ran by a veteran, Tim Jackard. He is awesome. Yep. I love Tim. He does so much for the community. His products that he makes are next level. They are amazing. Him and his wife kill it over there. He's one of my favorite peoples, and that just brings me to the next point, is we want to help out as many veterans that we can. We are not a veteran clinic, guys. I know there's the veteran clinic out there. I love them all. I support them all. But we're really trying to bring more of a veteran patient vibe to Green Valley as well. We've been trying for a couple of years, and we have a couple of veterans. I would say maybe about 100 if we're lucky, and that's a lot for us. So we want to start helping more, right? We want to be able to get those veterans growing also. We want, if you guys are growing therapy, and they also need to grow. And we've just connected with Blue Cross also, so now we have that option. We can start utilizing that to our advantage, giving these magic butters out, and so a lot of cool stuff coming in regards to that change. We're working with a company called Good to Grow in Newfoundland. They're a hydroponic stop. So what we've done now with these hydroponic stores, guys, and we're trying to find one in Ontario to do the same, is we have these packages. So if you want to, a lot of the time, patients will, get a license, and then they have no idea what to do with it, right? They're confused. Should I buy this tent? I get the best one. So we said, hey, you know what? We partnered up with a grow shop. We'll partner up with any grow shop that's good-minded and like-minded, and we're giving them rebates and discounts. So if you come, we'll have a package. Say, you want a 10 gram a day, assessment and license. Well, we'll provide that at a discounted rate with this package with Good to Grow. They'll provide you with the tent, the lights, the newts, and whatever else that you need at a discounted rate for the patient, and get you set up. And then we'll follow up with grow classes, education. So we've done that. We just started that. We have our first patient that actually jumped on last week and is super, super happy with these packages, all the prices and all that kind of stuff. Will be advertised shortly. We're just in the process of figuring all that stuff out, but just easy, an easy way, because look, I'll tell you what, I've been growing for 7 years now, and I've only done outdoor, and I tried once indoor, and I got mites, and I never did it again, right? Because I didn't know how, and it was too complicated. I'm like, the hell with this.
But that's awesome, because so many people that are patients, the new patients that are coming in, really, they're green. No pun intended, but they're green. They don't know about growing. And I mean, I've had people say, well, what do you use? Miracle Grow? And it's like, oh my God, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I mean, this is next level, because this is something that your other options out there, they're not doing this. Nobody's helping the patient after they've gotten their prescription. They get that prescription, they walk out the door, and the next time you see them is when they need a renewal, and they're just sort of sent out there like a lost little sheep, going, Okay, I got this paper. Now what? And they don't really have a clue.
And then the program and the clinic fails them. Right? They get discouraged in the program. Fuck it, I don't need it. You know, it's recreational now. I can just get it at the store. So guys, you know what?
Yeah.
That's the wrong attitude to have. If you're a medical patient, you always want to stay medical. There are tons of advantages for medical patients, right?
Yes.
Discounted product, tax write-offs, insurance coverage on your medicine, being able to carry more on you, being able to grow more. You know, there's just so much more cheaper to grow, and we got to really advocate that to people. It's not about it being it's easy. I'll get it at the dispensary. Well, it's fine. You can get it at the dispensary if you'd like. That's okay. I'm not against that. But, know there's other options that may be, better for your pocket or better for you in the future, right, in the long run, right? So really trying to advocate that.
Purchase direct from LP. That's expensive road for a patient. Anybody that's got, especially if you've got a substantial script, that is Al, what would it cost you and I to fill a script at the OCS for one day?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know I got a patient close to me where they've got a subscription much larger than mine, and there's no way that they would have the money to be able to purchase it. So, today, I worked with them. I worked with them today to get ready for their outdoor garden next year. Because they don't know how to do it, so I'm helping them with it, and next year they'll have some medicine because they can't afford to grow it inside either.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Look, we've always
been, and people just
we've always been pro grow. That's the difference between us. If you want to order from the LP, that's cool too. We always put people to an LP, but we never force. So this isn't new, right? You send the patient to the LP gives a kickback back to the clinic, and you're trying to get the patient to order because you want that kickback. To ask all of our patients, and I'll challenge any other clinic, if we have ever forced a patient to go somewhere that they didn't want to go, or an LP that we selected for them because we wanted them to purchase. Absolutely not. Absolutely never. Every time anyone came into the clinic, we always were pro grow your own. And that's why, even through the tough times and the rocky roads, we're still alive after 4 years as a mom and pop clinic. That says a lot. We didn't have the big money behind us. We pushed patients, and that's what kept us alive is the support. So that's why I got a lot of love, guys. Look, I'm a straightforward dude. I got a lot of love for the patients and the people that supported us and kept us alive. I really, really do. And I'm going to give back to those people. I'm going to give back to the patients, and we're going to do a lot of cool stuff, and we're going to give back, and that's what we're going to do. But first, we got to make a little bit of money to give back.
Amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to be able to sustain that. You've got to be able to sustain that train. You touched on something there about, other clinics and the way that they operate and stuff. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I had my own experience with Body Stream up here in Northern Ontario. And I was sending, when I was up in Smooth Rock Falls, a patient came to me for some counseling and some advice, and they're a would-be patient, and they're asking me about what to do. And I wasn't hooked up with you then. I don't think you existed then. This was about 6 years ago, so you didn't exist yet. But at that time, Body Stream was coming out. And I thought, well, I don't know what this place is, but one just opened up in a few towns down the road. So I sent this guy off, like I do with every clinic I deal with, to check them out. I said, go check them out for me. Go in there, tell them you don't know nothing, and here's what you're going to want to tell them. You want your right to grow, and you need the paperwork filled out. And so he went for his appointment. Took him an hour and 45 minutes to get there from our town. That's how far away it was. An hour and 45 minutes to get there. When he finally arrived, they would not sign him as right to grow, and he had to choose an LP from their designated list. And when he said, no, I want this LP that isn't on this list, they asked him to leave.
Isn't that terrible, right? And God Almighty, isn't that terrible? So anytime someone would come in and they would say, "Hey, we want to go to Tweed. We didn't work. We didn't have a contract with Tweed." Some people we didn't. I'm very picky. I like good medicine and I like fair prices. So I'm like, we don't have one with Tweed. I would always ask, I'm like, why do you want to go with Tweed? Oh, well, this guy said it was good. And okay, this guy said it was good. Well, let's go over some other options because there's other better medicine out there. Or if they were like, hey, we want to go to Tweed because we've been using their product for, a year and it works, cool. Send you to Tweed. This doesn't make, listen, it may have made these companies a lot of money at the beginning with these orders because you didn't have the option to grow. You could only order from an LP, and that was the program.
That
right?
was back in 2013.
But that changed.
Yeah. Patients again going to court.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, no, man, listen, the world is hard out there, guys. You know it. It's a tough world, man. It's a tough world to make money. It's tough to pay bills. And I, as an owner of a patient advocate, clinic wellness center, am supposed to force a patient to milk his pocket that could be feeding his children because I'm going to make money off him. That's devil shit, man. That's not good, man. So that we didn't do that. We didn't feel that. We didn't feel that vibe. We felt, hey, man, we're for the patient. Whatever's best for you. Mm-hmm. And I think people
and that's why I sent everybody to you.
Patients number one.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I sent everybody to you, man. It was as soon as I found out about you guys and we checked you out, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's getting everybody. Finally, I was so relieved. It was like, finally, somebody's doing it the way it should be done. And I mean, it was a huge sigh of relief for all of us out here that are patient advocates and trying to find a place for these hundreds upon hundreds of patients that come to people like me and people like Al that have been longtime patients, and we're advocates. And so many people come and say, well, how do you get a license? How do I get my right to grow? How do I get a prescription? Where is there a doctor signing this stuff? Because that, until very recently, and in some areas still to this day, that's a big problem. No doctors to sign.
Yep.
Yeah. Still a problem, and it's not right, And some people just say, well, these days they say, well, just send them to the store. Where, whereas 5 years ago or 3 years ago, we obviously didn't have that choice. But, that's not the way to deal with it. Just say, go to the store. Patients need information.
We even have doctors. We even have doctors now that were signing patients, and I've got patients coming to me saying, my doctor's wrote my prescription for the last 4 years, but now he tells me he's not going to renew it because I can go to the store.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Exactly.
Go to the store and get an uneducated opinion by some, no disrespect to the kids these days, but some, like 20-year-old kid that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Like, how many times I've walked into these dispensaries and asked for an educated opinion on a heavy indica to put me to bed, right? And they just give me bullshit. So some of that product that are in these stores, I was brokering when I was in the sales for the LP. So I know the product by the back of my hand. I know these companies. I know the guys in the companies. I know the owners of the companies. And I walk in there and I test these guys and I'm like, man, that is a terrible recommendation. I'm so disgusted, and when we had our dispensary, we would give the proper recommendations and know our product. No one knows what they're talking about. And it turns people off from this product and this beautiful plant and this beautiful medicine that we have, and the people are just misguided. And that's why these clinics in the medical game right now is proving to be king again. All these recreational stores are not making money. Their product is not being sold. People are not supporting them. They're overpriced. There are 6 in Trenton alone, right? It doesn't make any sense, guys.
Oh, wow.
I go to Tyendinaga. I go to the reserve, man. I go to the reserve. Why would I go? Why would I do that? I go to the reserve and get quality medicine.
Belleville, which is right next to the reserve, they've got. I think in Belleville, there's somewhere around about half a dozen stores, and they're right beside the reserve there.
Yeah, there's 4 Shiny Buds alone.
It's amazing.
Come to my town. Come to my town where cannabis retail prohibition continues. We don't.
Yeah, Al is still. Al lives in a community that opted out.
We have a dozen stores now. Yeah, we have a dozen stores in our area, but our town opted out. So,
just go down the road a little bit until past the town line, and you're golden. There's a store there.
Not quite, but it's getting that way. It's close. A lot of people would go down to Tayanaga. Go down to the stores down there because there's 30 to 40 stores down there. There's all kinds of choice and options for people to get.
Products that aren't available in the legal store.
Correct.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. There's products that you can, and they'll talk to you about it. They'll talk to you about what they're selling you.
And,
they know for the most part what's going on. Like, imagine that. Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Backwards.
Yeah. Well, I see we're almost at the bottom of the hour. Jeff, I mean, I knew that the 90 minutes was going to just fly by with you. I knew that. You are just chock full of information, and the journey that you've been on has been quite the wild ride. And I am just thrilled to death that you have come out of this in the end with Green Valley Wellness still firmly in hand. And I expect big things from you, my friend, and I will be watching closely, and I will be back to sending patients your way. I'm thrilled to death that you're back.
I really appreciate it. Honest to God, I really do. And it feels great. It feels good. We're going to make the change. We're going to do things differently, take it back. And I'm just so happy that you gave me the opportunity to be here and to talk and to share my story. I'm an open book. I'm always in it because I feel that, someone else will benefit from my mistakes, from my hiccups, and maybe, relate to my stresses and my pain. And it was a dark pain. We've all been through dark days, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There is. And it's just, we have to find that light and really focus our energy on that light. And we're here to help people during downtimes in COVID and just make a difference. And I'm just so blessed that you guys gave me the chance to talk. I really am. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Not a problem.
You're very, very welcome, my
now,
friend.
Just one quick question. And being that you're online, I'm going to assume that you can do patients all across the country.
We can, yeah. We're from coast to coast. Anybody across the country that needs it, we're able to help them out. That's for sure. There's no problems at all.
Okay, good stuff. All right. Other than that, shout out time. Person, place, a thing, website. If you got two of them, feel free to say them both.
Shout outs to our website. Well, our website is www.gvwellness.ca. And Instagram is at GR Valley Wellness. And our Facebook is, it's confusing. Everybody tags Green Valley Wellness, but it's not Green Valley Wellness. There's another company in the States, in Oregon, that's Green Valley Wellness also. So it's at GR. Yeah, it's at GV Wellness. So at GV Wellness is our Facebook. And just other shout outs, just quickly, just a lot of people that helped us get to where we are. Marco Ivančičević, that's a big name in the industry, did a lot of activism. He was at the beginning of Green Valley, and honest to God, Marco is a very passionate guy. He's a good buddy, and he's just a good guy, and he knows he's fought and he deserves the respect. So a shout out to Marco, and shout out to all our people in the East Coast that take care of us and look after us. I don't want to miss anybody like Jay Frost and 709 and Scotian Buds and Rob's Auto Room. These guys are heavy supporters of ours. Kelly's Green Lounge again. Shout out to Jackie Childs in the Green Room. We did that a couple of years back. Those guys are awesome. And big shout out to you guys and Cindy Howell. Can't forget Cindy, who does wonderful things too for patients. Such a great woman. So much respect and love for her. Also, it's just a lot of shout out to a lot of people, everybody in Ontario, everybody that supported us, and really, really appreciate it. So there's my shout outs.
Awesome. There you go.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
That's right. Exactly. Kim?
I'm going to give a shout out to us here at the radio station. Cindy Howell and myself are launching a brand new show on the network. Yep, there's another one coming. We are called the Psychedelic Reporters, and we are launching on November the 2nd. It's going to be a sister show to the Reefer Reporters with a focus on psychedelic news.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. We will have an announcement on that before it happens, and we'll get all the information about how often it's going to be on, what all kinds of news, etc., and all that that will be on that broadcast. I know I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. And for me, just a reminder, let everybody know that catch the Reefer Reporters tomorrow, 10 a.m. on Facebook as well as on YouTube. You can catch us live there in video, and then we'll be podcasting the audio afterwards here on the Pace Radio Network's website, so everybody can catch that no matter where you live at. And I'll be working with the new guy, Ronnie.
Working with the new guy, Ron McNabb.
That's right. That's right. Looking forward to it. I see he's already got his stories there, so excuse me.
Ready to go.
That's right, exactly. Good to see. All right, other than that, you can find the Pace Radio Network on Twitter at Pace Radio. You can also like us on there and on Instagram. You can check us out there. Let's see what else. We're on Twitter. Thank you to go to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics, as well as at legacy420.com, Dr. Buck CTS, and the Camelford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Camelford. Also, a big thank you to our guest, Jeff Gomierato from Green Valley Wellness. Thank you for coming on, sharing your story, everything about yourself, as well as the journey you had with your business.
No problem. Thank you guys again for having me. I'm truly
You're
blessed.
welcome. And Kim, as always, thank you. And to our listeners,
and back at you.
Thank you for tuning into the program, everybody. And good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
You know I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.